My name is Craig Bauer. I have been in the music business for longer than I care to admit. I opened my first studio in 1993 in downtown Chicago, where I was a recording engineer and a mixer. It's interesting when you have a commercial recording studio, clients pick you more so than you pick clients. And the people that come through the door are the music that you end up working on. So it started with smooth jazz and hip hop and turned into gospel, singer-songwriters and pop music. And every genre of music has walked through my door at one point or another. As a teenager, I remember sitting there and watching the Grammys and going, how in the world does this happen? And then you start doing this business and you work with enough people. And one day you get a notification and somebody you worked with on an entire album has been nominated for a Grammy. And as a mixing engineer, suddenly you're nominated for a Grammy. For me, that very first one happened to be with Kanye West. Album of the Year for mixing Late Registration. It's just an incredible feeling. Here we are in my Northward Acoustics room in Denver. It's the only one that actually happens to be built into a home. And going back to my first studio, there was only a 24-track tape machine. And I remember splicing tape and the idea of using a razor blade to make an edit, as opposed to doing an undoable thing on Pro Tools or any DAW. I think a lot of people wonder where the beginnings of analog multitrack stemmed from. It goes back to a machine called the J-37. It was an analog tape machine that's probably most famous for being the original tape machine of the Beatles. Look, I have thousands of plugins and I've had countless tape plugins. Now having my hands on the Arturia Tape J-37, and instantly it became my favorite. There's something special about this particular plugin. It sounds absolutely phenomenal. Pick a tape plugin from the past. I've used it. Ask me what I'm going to use from this moment on. There's no question. And I'm going to show you here in a minute with certain examples. So now let's take a look at Tape J-37. The problem I had with this particular track was that once we got to the hook, the vocal got really thin sounding. So here's where I took the J-37. I am using the first color mode. I'm using it in modern, so it's removing the low and high pass filters. I've got a little bit of EQ here, and that's all that it's doing. Let's take a listen to it without it first.
All I wanted, make me honest. I know that you want it, and I got it.
Now let's put it in and hear the difference.
All I wanted, make me honest. I know that you want it, and I got it.
Not subtle how much warmer that is making this vocal. Lastly, let's just hear it in context with the entire track.
I call you, my body is your sacrifice. All I wanted, make me honest. I know that you want it, and I got it.
I currently mix entirely in the box. I've been through every generation of technology that you can think of. Keeping up with technology is really the key to constantly learning, because the products and plugins constantly improve, and new artists and new sounds. And it's just a matter of working with new people all the time that you can't help but learn new things along the way. And I would say there probably isn't a day go by where I don't learn something new about what I do. So another fantastic use for Tape J-37 is on drums. I tend to like to use it in parallel, like I do with most things. Using it in parallel adds a certain amount of oomph, we'll just use that word, that the J-37 is absolutely perfect for. So let's listen to an example of this track, which at the moment we're just going to listen to drums without it there. So I'm muting the return and we'll listen. Hear how thin that is? Now we're going to open up this return and listen to it with it. It's just perfect for this track. Can't not be there anymore. Not going away. My history with the Arturia Effects Collection plugins goes back quite a long time. We're currently on Effects 5. There's a group of plugins within this entire set that I have been using for as long as I can remember. There's the Plate 140 reverb that is indisposable. If you don't own it, you're out of your mind. I have it on a trap snare track in this particular instance. So let's just play a little bit of what it sounds like with it there. And just to hear what a difference it's making to this snare track, let's just mute the return here. Doing quite a thing. There's a spring reverb by the name of 636 that I use constantly. There's the classic Roland Dimension D plugin for chorus effects on any number of things. Wait. One more. Distortion Cold Fire. Regardless of what kind of distortion sound you're looking for, it is in that plugin. I have a very short little sound effect that this thing is on. I'm going to play this sound effect without it there first. It's that short. It happens a few times within the track. Before I put Cold Fire onto this track, there was just absolutely no way we're going to hear this thing within this massive production. How are we going to make this thing speak? Well, it was pretty simple once we put Disc Cold Fire on it. Quite a difference. Without it again. With it again. Here's a funny story when it comes to this Effects 5 collection. I instantly started using them, and they sounded so great. I didn't even notice the Advanced tab that's at the top of all these plugins. And finally one day, I put the mouse and I clicked on it, and this pane opened up, and I'm like, oh, damn, there's all kinds of additional parameters in here that makes these plugins really special. And if you've missed it, you need to click on that tab and start playing with those parameters. Sound Explorer, that is absolutely the perfect term for anyone who's passionate about this business. Being a mixer is exploring new sounds. That's the whole deal. This is what we do. Exploring new sounds is the whole deal.